Today we will discuss some fundamental concepts in stereochemistry. Let us start with the concept of isomerism first. Okay, since understanding of isomers and isomerism, it is integral to the study of stereochemistry. So, what is isomerism and what are these isomers? Okay, as you know, these isomers are different compounds. Okay. Isomers and isomerism. Okay, now as you know, these isomers, they are different compounds with the same molecular formula. Okay, now the molecular formula, it will just give you an idea of the number of each kind of atoms present in the molecule, but it does not indicate the actual arrangement of atoms in a molecule. Okay, now such compounds having the same molecular formula but different physical and chemical properties, they are called isomers. And this particular phenomena exhibited by these compounds, it is known as isomerism. Okay, so what is isomerism? Isomerism or isomer? Isomers are different compounds. Basic thing is isomers are different compounds. Okay, having the same molecular formula. Okay, so the molecular formula, it does not indicate the actual arrangement of atoms present in a molecule. Now, compounds having the same molecular formula but different properties. Okay, they are different compounds having different chemical properties, different physical properties. Okay, such compounds are known as isomers. And this property exhibited by these compounds, it is known as isomerism. Okay, what are the major classes of isomerism? Now we have this isomerism or isomers, we can say different classes. Okay, the major classes of isomers. First thing is constitutional isomers. Constitutional or structural isomers. Okay. Then the other one is stereoisomers. These are the broad two classes, we can say. Stereoisomers. Okay. Now, here the constitutional isomers, they differ in the way atoms are connected to each other. Okay, that is different compounds having different connectivity of atoms. Okay, atoms are arranged in a definite manner in a particular molecule. There is a different arrangement in each isomer. So, constitutional isomerism or structural isomerism is concerned with the connectivity of atoms. Important point. In a molecule. Okay, so the arrangement, connectivity means the sequence of arrangement. Okay, constitutional isomers or structural isomers, they differ in the way atoms are connected to each other. Atoms are arranged in a definite manner in a molecule. Okay, so in isomers, there will be different arrangement of or different connectivity of atoms. Okay, so but in the case of stereoisomers, we are not concerned with the connectivity. We are concerned with the spatial orientation of various atoms and groups here. That is configuration. Different configurations and different spatial arrangement of atoms and groups in the molecule, stereoisomers. Okay, now constitutional isomers, we have, okay, they have different names, different IUPAC names. IUPAC names. Okay, different names are there. Now, they may have same functional groups or they can have different functional groups. Now, they will have different physical and chemical properties. Okay, these are, the basic things about isomerism only, Now, the structural and constitutional isomerism, that could be further divided into so many classes, as you know. That is structural isomerism. We can have chain isomerism. Then we can have position isomerism. Then we can have functional group isomerism. Like this, so many classes we can find out, subgroups. Okay, so these are the constitutional or structural isomers. We can subdivide, can be subdivided into various classes like chain isomerism, position isomerism, functional group isomerism, etc. Now, what is meant by chain isomerism here? The chain isomerism, the compounds differ in the arrangement of carbon atoms. Very simple kind of a thing. Arrangement of compounds differ in the arrangement of carbon atoms. Okay. Now, I will just change this page. I will explain to you in each and every kind of isomerism here. The chain isomerism. Chain isomerism means the compounds differ in the arrangement of carbon atoms. So we have N-butane, normal butane, then we have isobutane. Okay, they are isomers having the same molecular formula C4H10. Okay, so normal butane, it is a straight chain compound. This is a straight chain alkane. Straight chain alkane. Okay, now isobutane, how will you represent this? CH3, CH, C3. This is a branched chain. Okay, straight chain, branched chain. These are the two different types of isomers, normal butane and isobutane, that is chain isomers. So now, if you come to pentane, how many types of pentanes are available? Pentane is C5H12. Okay, so pentane will be CH3. So this is normal pentane. Pentane, this is normal pentane. Okay. 5 carbon atoms. Now we can have a compound called isopentane. Isopentane. This is isopentane, or it can be 2-methylbutane. Okay, isopentane or 2-methylbutane. Okay, now there can be another pentane here, that is neopentane. Okay, this is called neopentane. So they are all isomers belonging to the class of chain isomerism. Okay, now another thing I will just briefly discuss position isomerism. What is meant by position isomerism? So in position isomerism, that is the compounds. What is the difference in here? Compounds have the same carbon skeleton. Okay, but they differ in the position of the substituent groups. So various substituent groups will be there, functional groups will be there, etc. That position differs. That is the thing. In the same carbon skeleton, the position of the functional groups or substituent groups will be different here in the case of position isomerism. So simple examples, I can just give you CH3, CH2, CH2OH. Okay, here the OH group. This is a propyl alcohol, normal propyl alcohol. We can say now we can have isopropyl alcohol. This OH group position, it can change here. Okay, this is normal propyl alcohol, and this is isopropyl alcohol. Alcohol group, the OH group, the position changes here. That is a positional isomerism. In the same way, we can have, say, phenol. Okay. Now, this is orthonitrophenol. Orthonitrophenol. We can have the position of the nitro group. It can change. This is metanitrophenol. and this is paranitrophenol. Okay, orthonitrophenol, metanitrophenol, phenol, and paranitrophenol. This is all examples of position isomerism. Now the next one will be your functional group isomerism. Here the functional group will be different. Molecular formula same, but functional group will be different here. Functional group isomerism. Okay, so functional group isomerism compounds have the same molecular formula, but they have different functional groups. For example, we can have ethanol. Okay, CH3, CH2. This is the functional group is the OH group here. Okay, then we can have the same molecular formula. Okay, here the functional group is the ether group. Okay, dimethyl ether. Now we can have acetone, the keto group. Okay, this is acetone, the keto group. Then we can have CH3, CH2, say CHO. That is the aldehyde group, propionaldehyde. Okay, like this, we can have different functional groups here. Functional group isomerism, their compounds have the same molecular formula, but they have different functional groups. Ethanol, example here, the functional group is the OH group here. Alcoholic group, hydroxyl group. Okay, now here in the case of acetone, it is the keto group. Now other one is propionaldehyde. Okay, that is an aldehyde group here. Okay, but this is all basic things about different kinds of isomerism or isomers. Now, but in the case of stereoisomers, they differ. There is the connectivity, everything is same in stereoisomer. Molecular formula same, the connectivity of atoms, arrangement of atoms, everything is same. But okay, now stereoisomers differ only in the way atoms are oriented in space. That is the three-dimensional arrangement, three-dimensional orientation of atoms and groups in space. It is called spatial or orientation. It is different in stereoisomers. Okay, now they have identical names, except say in certain cases, we add the prefix cis, trans, and all. Apart from that, names are same thing. Okay, so they have and because they differ only in the three-dimensional arrangement of atoms. Stereoisomers are the same functional groups. There is no difference in the functional groups. There is no difference in the connectivity of atoms and all. Okay. Now, a particular three-dimensional arrangement of atoms or groups, it is called configuration. So, we will say stereoisomers, they differ in configuration. What is configuration? Configuration means a particular arrangement, a three-dimensional arrangement or the spatial orientation, three-dimensional spatial orientation of atoms and groups, that is known as configuration. Therefore, stereoisomers, they differ in configuration. Okay, stereoisomers differ in configuration. Now, in these stereoisomers also, we will see these optical isomers. Briefly, I will tell you. Optical isomers or optical isomerism, geometrical isomerism. So many kinds of things are there like this. So, see, now these optical isomerism or geometrical isomerism and all exhibited by compounds having same structure. Molecular formula is same, structure is same, but they differ only in the configuration. That is the spatial arrangement or spatial orientation of atoms. Compounds having different configurations. Okay. Stereoisomers, they are compounds having different configurations. Why these different configurations? Because carbon atoms, they mainly form covalent bonds. And these covalent bonds have different directions in space. Okay. So, different directions in space. Now, some examples, just like cis-trans isomerism. We can see cis-trans isomerism, we will see, this pentane, 1,2-dimethyl cyclopentane, for example. Okay, this is a cyclopentane ring. This is a cyclopentane ring. Now we can have 1,2-dimethyl. Okay, like this we represent here. This is the cis form. Cis form means both the methyl groups on the same side, and here it will be the trans form. That is one methyl group that is above the plane of the ring, and the dashes it is below the plane. That is the trans form. That is on opposite sides. Okay, this is the kind of isomerism, because now the methyl group, the structure, everything is same here. Structurally the compound is same, but only the configuration, that is the spatial orientation of the atoms, it will be different. Now, optical isomerism, for example, here it is exhibited by optical isomerism exhibited by compounds having the same structure, we know, but different configurations. Okay, now because of their molecular asymmetry, which we will be discussing in subsequent classes, or even in the same class we will discuss this molecular asymmetry, these compounds are capable of optical property. I am just telling you, these compounds are capable of rotating the plane of polarization of plane polarized light. Okay, now they possess similar physical and chemical properties, but the difference is only in their action on plane polarized light. Okay, now because of the molecular asymmetry, asymmetric molecule, asymmetric carbon atom will be there. Okay, these compounds are capable of rotating the plane. Plane of what? Plane of plane polarized light. Okay, we will discuss what is the plane polarized light later when we discuss the properties of these enantiomers and all. Okay, now they possess similar physical and chemical properties. The only difference here in optical isomerism is that their action on plane polarized light. Okay, optical activity, it is a name given to a phenomenon exhibited by these compounds. Okay, which when placed, these compounds when placed in the path of a beam of plane polarized light, they are capable of rotating the plane of polarization to the left or to the right. Okay, the plane of polarization, these compounds are capable of rotating the plane of polarization of plane polarized light either to the left or to the right. Okay, now right means it is in the clockwise direction. It is known as dextrorotatory. Okay, the right is dextrorotatory, that is in the clockwise direction, then left is levorotatory. Okay, that is in the counterclockwise direction. If the rotation it is in the clockwise direction, then that is the right side. It is known as, compound is called dextrorotatory. And if the rotation is in the counterclockwise direction, that is the left, okay, the compound is called levorotatory. Okay, now geometrical isomerism is also just like cis-trans isomerism. That is the same thing, but mostly it is exhibited by compounds having a double bond. Okay, that is the substituent groups will be on either side of the double bond. So you must have heard about this malic acid, fumaric acid, and all this kind of a thing, you know. Isomers. They all exhibit this geometrical isomerism. Okay, now we will come to our important topic here for discussion today, that is stereochemistry. Okay, stereoisomers. We will talk about stereoisomers, stereochemistry, everything. So, in the most important point in stereochemistry, the first thing is chiral and achiral molecules. What is meant by chiral? Then we have achiral molecules. Okay, chiral and achiral molecules. What is a chiral and achiral molecules? See, now we know you should know the, if you have to have, you should have, for a better understanding of the properties of organic molecules, now we should study their three-dimensional structure very well. Then only we can follow that properties and all. No? So stereoisomers, as you have seen, they have the same connectivity of atoms. Okay, this means the sequence of arrangement of atoms or the groups. Okay, that means the sequence in which the atoms or groups are connected to the central carbon atom. It is the same. In the molecule, it is the same thing. That is in the stereoisomer. Stereoisomers thus have the same connectivity of atoms. Okay, same connectivity. but different configurations we have seen. The same connectivity means the sequence of connection, that is the sequence in which the atoms or groups are connected to the central carbon atom. Okay, so in the molecule it is the same thing in the case of stereoisomers, but they have different spatial orientation, or they have different configurations. Okay, now if you see a compound like this, I am writing the bonds in 3 different ways here. I will explain to you what it is. Okay, here it will be a wedge. Okay, one is a wedge and other one is a solid line, and there is a dash. Okay, so this can be, OH can come here. Okay, here we have, these are the 3 methods of representation of the bonds here. One is with a solid line. Okay, solid line. Here the carbon OH bond and carbon hydrogen bonds, they are represented by solid line. Okay, bond in the plane of the page. Solid line, it is used for representing a bond in the plane of the page. We have to visualize this 3-dimensional structure, then we will understand it much better. Okay, the solid line, it represents the bond in the plane of the paper. Then the chlorine atom, I am representing with a wedge, a thick line here. This is known as wedge. Okay, this chlorine with a wedge, that is wedge is used for, it is a bond coming out of the page. Okay, as if it is coming towards you from the, it is projecting upward above the page. Okay, bond coming out of the page or above the page, we can say. Wedge, it is used for a bond coming out of the page. Okay, these are all stereochemical representation. Then we have the dashes, that is a bond going into the page, that is behind the page, that is dashes. Dashes means bond behind the page. Okay, this is the 3 methods. One is the solid line. The solid line means it represents all the bonds in the plane of the page or the plane of the paper, whatever it is there. Okay, now there is a wedge here, that is the chlorine atom. Here we can see it is on a wedge, that is a slightly thicker line. So this means this is coming towards you. Okay, it is coming out of the page. And the dashes, it is going behind the page, out of the page. Bonds in the plane of the page, bond going into the page, that is behind the page, then bond coming out of the page. Okay, these are the 3 different ways of representation of bonds. Stereochemical representation, that is the orientation of atoms in space, the configuration. These are the kind of configuration. One will be in the plane, something will be behind the plane, something will be above the plane, and all these kind of a thing. Okay, now the same atoms, you can see the same atoms or groups are connected to the central carbon atom here. Okay, the connectivity, it is the same. Okay, connectivity, it is the same thing, but OH and Br, they are oriented differently here. Hydroxyl group and the bromine, they are all oriented differently in space. Okay, to change the position of this hydrogen and OH, now one will have to really break that bond. CH bond and COH bond are to be broken, then only we can change that position. Okay, then they have to be connected in the reverse order. Okay, this is the basic thing about the bonds in stereochemistry, the representation of the bonds here. Okay, now we will come to another interesting aspect here, chirality. So we have not discussed chirality so far. Now we will come to chirality. Chirality, chiral, achiral. Okay, there are different terminologies here. Superimposable, mirror image. Okay, left hand, right hand. These are the words we will have to study or keep in mind. Okay, now mirror image. Okay, what is mirror image? All objects have mirror image. That is, when you keep an object in front of a mirror, you get an image. That is the mirror image. Okay, so in stereochemistry, here what we are concerned is not with all kinds of mirror images and all. What we are concerned is whether a molecule, it is identical to or different from its mirror image. Got the point? Now all objects, mind you, all objects have mirror images. So what we are concerned here, it is whether a particular molecule or particular object, it is identical to or if it is different from its mirror image. So some mirror images are superimposable on the original object. Some mirror images are superimposable on the original objects, and some mirror images are not superimposable. Superimposable, not superimposable. Okay, these are the kind of terminologies here. What is meant by superimposable? Okay, now superimposable means, an object, it is superimposable on its mirror image when we can say that when all parts of that object, it aligns fully well. Okay, with the mirror image. All parts of the object, it aligns well with the mirror image means then we can say it is superimposable. That is aligning the parts. Now in the case of a molecule, aligning all atoms and bonds. Okay, now all the atoms and bonds in the molecule should align with the mirror image. Then we can say it is fully superimposable. And in the case of an object, all parts of that object should be fully aligned with the mirror image. Then we can say it is superimposable. Otherwise, it is not superimposable. Okay, this is the concept of mirror image here. Okay, superimposable mirror images and not superimposable mirror images. Correct? Now we know hand. Certain molecules are just like our hand, palm. If we say our palm, okay. Palm, left hand, right hand. If you say both are mirror images, left hand is mirror image of right hand. Okay, now, but are they identical? They are not identical. Okay, left hand, right hand, they are not identical. Got the point? They are not superimposable on the mirror images. Is left hand superimposable on the right hand? No, that is not superimposable on not superimposable. Okay, that is, certain molecules are also like hands, left hand and right hands, they are mirror images, but they are not identical. So from this, we have got the concept of chirality, chiral. Okay, so some molecules are like hands, just like our left hand, left palm and right hands. They are mirror images, but they are not identical. They are not superimposable on one another. Okay, now objects that are not superimposable on the mirror images, they are known as chiral objects. Chiral. This is chiral. Our left hand and right hand. This is a chiral. Chiral objects. Okay. Objects that are not superimposable on the mirror images, they are chiral objects. And objects or molecules that are superimposable on the mirror images are achiral. Chiral means not superimposable. Okay, then achiral means superimposable. This is the difference. Okay, mirror image, superimposable mirror images and not superimposable mirror images. Okay, now objects or molecules that are not superimposable on their mirror image, they are chiral objects or chiral molecules. And objects and molecules that are superimposable on their mirror images are achiral. If it is superimposable, achiral. Not superimposable, chiral. Remember, left hand, right hand. Mirror images, not superimposable, not identical. Therefore, left hand, right hand, they are chiral. Okay, from how did this word chiral come? It has originated from a Greek word, C-H-E-I-R, care, something like that. You can pronounce it. Okay, this means hand. From here only the chirality, this word has come. Okay. So adjective chiral, this word comes from the Greek word chair, meaning hand. So left hand and right hand, they are chiral. Okay. They are mirror images, but they are not superimposable on each other. Got the point? So left hand and right hand, they are mirror images. They are not identical. They are not superimposable. Therefore, they are called chiral. Okay. Left hand, right hands are chiral. Just like molecules, chiral molecules. Then achiral means, it is superimposable. Okay. Objects or molecules superimposable on the mirror images are achiral. Okay. The word is originated from the Greek word chair. That is meaning hand. Okay. Mirror images not superimposable on each other. So a compound containing one asymmetric carbon atom, we can say asymmetric carbon atom. One compound containing one asymmetric carbon. Okay. Compound containing one asymmetric carbon atom, it is a chiral. Okay. Chiral. Okay. It is not superimposable on its mirror image. It is all atoms and bonds will not align here. That is chiral. Achiral means it is superimposable. Okay. Now a compound containing one asymmetric carbon atom, it is a chiral molecule. Now the simplest type of asymmetric structure, it is a carbon atom bonded to 4 different atoms or groups. Okay. A carbon atom bonded to 4 different atoms or groups. That is the simplest example of an asymmetric structure. Okay, the molecule of this type, carbon, it is bonded to say A, B, D, E, like this. If you draw a structure of this nature, this is an asymmetric carbon and this will be chiral. Okay. Chiral means not superimposable. Okay. Achiral means superimposable. Okay. So this is the kind of it. Now we can see an example here. Chiral molecule. So we can say our lactic acid. For example, lactic acid will be formula CH3 CHOH COH. Okay, this is lactic acid. How will you represent this lactic acid? Say the carbon, central carbon atom, OH. Then we have hydrogen. Then a methyl group. Okay. Then carboxyl group. This is our lactic acid. Okay. So the lactic acid, how this mirror image will be? This is our mirror. Okay. Assume it is a mirror I have drawn. Then this will be OH group. Okay. Now this is lactic. Now these two things, they are mirror images. Okay. But they are not superimposable. Therefore it is chiral. Okay. These mirror images A and B, we can say A and B, they are mirror images, but they are not superimposable and therefore they are chiral. Okay, now the carbon atom is bonded to 4 different atoms or groups. Okay, we have seen an asymmetric carbon atom, the simplest type of asymmetric carbon atom or symmetric structure. It is one carbon atom bonded to 4 different atoms or groups. Okay, just like this. 4 different atoms or groups bonded to a central carbon atom here. Now this central carbon atom bonded to 4 different atoms or groups, it is designated by various names. That's just like, we know stereo center we can say, or it can be a stereogenic center. Okay, then a chiral center, then a chiral carbon. So many names, chiral carbon. In the field, different names are the chirality center, asymmetric carbon, then asymmetric center, and all this kind of a thing. Okay, now let us see the test of chirality. How will you know that a compound is chiral or an achiral molecule? That is a test. How will you determine? Briefly, I will tell you. Now, test of chirality. Here only we come to an important terminology. Okay, the test of. That is, we should know whether a molecule is chiral or achiral. How do you know that? You see, determine whether suppose you are given some molecules here and there. You are asked to find out whether they are superimposable or not superimposable on the mirror image. That is, whether they are chiral or whether they are achiral. How will you test that? The test is, first you draw the molecule, the three-dimensional figure, three-dimensional structure of the molecule. Then you draw the mirror image. Okay, now we are concerned with the mirror image only, whether this mirror object is superimposable on its mirror image or not. Then you try to align all atoms bonded to the carbon atom. Try to align all atoms and bonds. Okay, all atoms and bonds should align in a molecule. Then only we can say it is superimposable. So, draw the molecule, that is the three-dimensional structure of the molecule. Then you draw its mirror image. Then you try to align all atoms and bonds. Okay, now, when you are trying to align, to superimpose a molecule on its mirror image, you can perform any rotation, without breaking the bonds. You cannot break the bonds. You can simply rotate it. Then you can try to align it. Okay, now how do you know? Say, for example, in a compound like water. Okay, this is our water molecule. Now the mirror image also. Mirror image also will be like that. We have to see whether these are superimposable or not. Okay, then that will determine the chirality. Okay, now we will try to superimpose it. One just, we are just keeping it like this. Now there will be this hydrogen here, there will be this hydrogen. Okay, it will come more or less like this. That is, all the bonds and groups, bonds and atoms, they align well here. Therefore, water, it is an achiral molecule. It is an achiral molecule. Now, if you see another compound here, say CH2BrCl. Okay, now we can represent it. This is a hydrogen and this is another hydrogen. Okay, now this Br and Cl I will represent using a different color. Then it will be easy for you to understand. Okay, so this is this compound CH2BrCl. Okay, now how will you draw the mirror image? This is the mirror. Okay, this hydrogen will come over here. Then these two things will go to the other side. Like this. Okay. Now, this is the mirror image. These mirror images are, they rotate the molecule. When you are rotating the molecule, just like that you rotate these bonds and atoms, they align properly. Bonds and atoms align. In this case also. This is what you have to see whether it is superimposable or not. Okay. Therefore, this is a chiral molecule again. It is not chiral. Okay. Bonds and atoms align, and therefore it is a chiral. Okay. CH2Br Cl. That compound is a chiral. Okay. Now we will take up another compound. Here you will get confused. Okay. CHBr, say ClF. It is a compound like carbon. We have seen A, B, D, E. That is an asymmetric carbon having 4 different groups bonded together. So we have seen this molecule. It is not superimposable. Okay. It is not superimposable on the mirror image. Therefore, it is a chiral molecule that we have seen now. It is a chiral molecule. Okay. So now we come to, I will just draw this molecule, that is CHBr-ClF. Then we will see, examine what is this compound. Okay. This case of the carbon, this is a wedge. Now we have seen that is a wedge and dash and all here. Okay. This is the compound CHBr-ClF. Okay. Now the mirror image. Assume this is our mirror. Okay, this is our mirror image. Okay, so now the molecule and its mirror image, they are not superimposable. In this compound, this molecule and its mirror image they are not superimposable. Therefore, you may rotate any bond. Okay, the molecules in all possible ways, but all the atoms, they never align. You can see these atoms, they never align there. Atoms and bonds will not align, even if you just keep rotating. You are permitted to rotate without breaking the bonds, as I was just telling you. But even if you rotate it in all possible ways, this will not align. The bonds and the atoms will not align here. Okay, therefore they are not superimposable. Okay, so not superimposable means the molecule is therefore chiral. Got the point? They are not. Molecule is therefore chiral. So they are stereoisomers. These two things, this A and B, this okay, this is A and this is B. We can know now A and B they are stereoisomers. There's no doubt about it. They differ only in the spatial orientation of the substituent groups. Okay, they vary only in the spatial orientation, the connectivity, everything. It is the same thing. They are stereoisomers A and B. So they are non-superimposable mirror images. Okay, these, there is a name given to this, non-superimposable mirror images. They are enantiomers. Okay, this is enantiomer. What is enantiomer? Molecules that are non-superimposable mirror images are called enantiomers. Okay, enantiomers are mirror images that are not superimposable. Enantiomers are mirror images not superimposable. Okay, so molecules that are not non-superimposable on their mirror images, non-superimposable mirror images, they are called enantiomers. Therefore, what are these enantiomers? And enantiomers are mirror images, okay, that are not superimposable. Okay, now in the molecule, say this one, CHBrClF, if you take it, okay, the carbon atom, it is bonded to 4 different groups. Therefore, this carbon, there is a particular name for this carbon. Okay, carbon atom bonded to 4 different groups. It is called tetrahedral stereogenic center. Tetrahedral stereogenic center. Okay, this carbon atom bonded to 4 different groups. It is known as tetrahedral stereogenic center. Now, the general term stereogenic center, it refers to any site in a molecule. Okay, the general term stereogenic center, it refers to any site in a molecule at which interchange of the 2 groups, it will form stereoisomers. Okay, so the general term, this is a general term, stereoisomers, stereogenic center. Okay, it refers to any site in a particular molecule. At that particular site, if you rotate, if you interchange the 2 groups, it will form a stereoisomer. That is why the tetrahedral stereogenic center, because the interchange of 2 groups, it will convert one enantiomer into another enantiomer. Now, what are enantiomers? Enantiomers are mirror images that are not superimposable. Okay, so in the molecule CHBrClF, carbon, it is bonded to 4 different groups, 4 different atoms. Okay, this is called tetrahedral stereogenic center. Okay, now most chiral molecules, they contain 1 or more stereogenic centers. Okay, most chiral molecules, they contain 1 or more stereogenic centers. Therefore, a molecule that is not superimposable on its mirror image, it is a chiral molecule. Molecule that is not superimposable on its mirror image, it is a chiral molecule. Now, a carbon atom bonded to 4 different groups, it is a stereogenic center. Understand that point? You call it tetrahedral stereogenic center. So whatever it is, a carbon atom bonded to 4 different, we will further expand all these terminologies later. A carbon atom bonded to 4 different groups, it is a stereogenic center. Okay, now 2 enantiomers, they are different compounds. Okay, to convert one enantiomer to another, you must switch the position of the atoms. Okay, this will amount to breaking of the bonds also. Okay, so now you got the point. Non-impossible enantiomers and all. No, you know. Now, a stereogenic center, a small further introduction or rather explanation to stereogenic centers. I can tell you. We will have more discussion on stereogenic center on cyclic compounds and all later in the other class, next class. Okay, now stereogenic center means, see, the molecules can contain, there won't be any stereogenic center at all. That means zero stereogenic center, no stereogenic center. Though there can be one, or there can be more than 1 or 2, 3, whatever it is, more stereogenic centers. It is possible. In a molecule, in a large big molecule and all, we can have many number of stereogenic centers. Okay, now with no stereogenic center, a molecule generally it is a chiral molecule. Okay, that is, there is no stereogenic center. The molecule, it is usually a chiral molecule. Okay, we have seen examples. Water we have seen. Then we have seen a compound CH2BrCl we have seen. They are all chiral molecules. Okay, with no stereogenic center, a molecule is not it is not sorry. With no stereogenic center, the molecule is not chiral. I am just writing chiral here. It is not chiral. We have seen water, achiral. Okay, no stereogenic center means a molecule generally it is not chiral. Not chiral. I am sorry here. Okay, so no stereogenic center, that means 0. Okay, no stereogenic center. A molecule generally it is not chiral. Okay, it will be achiral. Water, CH2BrCl, etc. They have no stereogenic center and they are achiral molecules. Okay, no stereogenic center. This is actually a general, we are just generalizing it. Generally it is correct, but there are exceptions to this rule, general rule also. Okay, when there is no stereogenic center, molecule doesn't have, there is no chirality, there is a chiral molecule. Therefore, now one tetrahedral stereogenic center means a molecule is always chiral. We have seen that. Okay, so one stereogenic tetrahedral stereogenic center means a molecule is always chiral. Okay, with one tetrahedral stereogenic center, a molecule it is always chiral. So that is what we have seen here, CHBr CLF. Okay, that is one tetrahedral stereogenic center. This is a chiral molecule. With one tetrahedral stereogenic center, molecule is always chiral. It is a chiral molecule containing one stereogenic center. Now with a 2 or more stereogenic centers, okay, 2 or more stereogenic centers, a molecule may or may not be chiral. Okay, this is the thing. Now achiral molecules. Another characteristic of this achiral molecule, achiral molecules usually contain a plane of symmetry. Okay, achiral molecules usually contain a plane of symmetry. What is meant by plane of symmetry? Achiral molecules contain a plane of symmetry. Chiral molecules, no plane of symmetry. Okay. Chiral molecules, no plane of symmetry. Okay, a chiral molecule contains a plane of symmetry. A chiral molecule usually contain a plane of symmetry, but chiral molecules, they do not contain. What is meant by plane of symmetry? Plane of symmetry means it is a mirror plane. Okay, that will cut a molecule into 2 halves, 2 equal halves, so that one half it is a mirror image of the other. That is the plane of symmetry. Plane of symmetry, it is a mirror plane. It will cut a molecule into 2 halves. Okay, it will bisect that molecule so that one half it is a mirror image of the other half. Okay, that is the definition. That is meant by plane of symmetry. So the plane of symmetry, it will exist if you can put a mirror plane so anywhere through a molecule and an identical image appears on both sides of the plane. Okay, since the mirror image of this molecule, it is superimposable on itself, the molecule is achiral. Got the point? A plane of symmetry, it will exist if you can put a mirror plane anywhere through a molecule and an identical image appears on both sides of the plane. Okay, now this mirror image of this molecule, it is superimposable on itself. The molecule is achiral and the carbon atom, it is not an asymmetric center. Okay, carbon atom is not an asymmetric center. Also, the molecule is not chiral because it does not contain 4 different groups attached to the central carbon atom. That is why we get 2 identical halves on both sides of the mirror plane. Okay, the carbon atom, central carbon atom does not contain, the molecule does not contain 4 different groups attached to the central carbon atom. That is why the molecule, it is not chiral here. Okay, so with this thing we will conclude today. Hope you have understood the basic concepts of stereochemistry. So thank you very much for listening.